Okay. Hey, this is Pastor Sidney and our friend Gale. And Gale, you are taking the role of storyteller right now because we're in the world that was created around what A Spider with the church put together with you and your experiences, going through dissociative identity disorder and other kinds of things, but you came up with a way of putting your mythology into print, and we all put it together back in 2015, I think. We're still going to publish it. We had it online for a while, but we're going to give it into a hard copy soon. And that place in time is called Visions of Xaltia. The characters from the other world, which comes out of the Chronicler series, the character Tobit, the character Cassandra, and the character Isabella have followed their friend Penn, who was the main character of Visions of Xaltia, into a book that he had, a magical book. Our friend Elder Jeffrey, who plays Saint Marta, also has a book that she follows around. And you had mentioned Melchizedek might also have such a book. And also our enemy, the Source, has a book like that. So that being the case, there's no need to worry any further unless there's more questions that you have, Gail, and I'll answer them.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing really great. I'm looking forward to doing another thing in this world as a player characters rather than as the dungeon. Well, I mean the storyteller. I think it'll be fun to turn my freedom over to you to be the master of this world, and maybe you can lead us to a different place, or maybe I'll find a way out, or maybe I'll find a way through to a different place. I'm looking forward to seeing what'll happen, friend.
Absolutely, I do enjoy doing this interactive storytelling with you, and it made a difference for me. So I'm really excited about seeing my story in print. That'll be fun.
That'll be great. We'll talk more about that, and we'll also release some videos when it's more, specifically when we start, making a point of letting people see it. I'll be probably talking to you and maybe other people who help make the worlds that we've done. But that's not for now. For now, we'll be just doing more of our live action scripture here, the real live world we're in, which is scriptural and metaphysical and physical and every other kind of thing. So.
All right. So last time we started with Isabella.
Yes.
Could you give a recap of what she went through?
Well, the last thing I remember, and you can correct me, I hope you do if I'm wrong, is the idea that she woke up separately from the other two, and she was looking for her cigarettes, and Kitty, who's one of the main...
I'll stop you just before you say that, sorry, but just as a reminder that she woke up with a duality.
Yes. Would you like to explain that duality as far as you remember? Because I'd like to hear it again, too.
Tobit and Cassandra and a few others, including Penn, arrived in what Penn described before they entered his book was going to be a different world. They ended up in a thick fog. Oh, shit.
What's happening?
A gun just went off.
Oh, it's the city. Don't worry about it. Is it in the building or outside the building?
Outside.
What's outside? Who cares? Unless you want to stop and look at it.
If more guns go off, maybe.
Okay.
Okay. Well, maybe it was just something that sounded like it. You think?
Well, the point is, there's gunshots in our neighborhood, but no one ever shoots inside our house. Like, that's just the kids fighting over stupid shit. That's all that is.
Sometimes they're shooting at things, not even other people. I remember.
Sometimes shooting in the air, people celebrate in various ways that way too. So I wouldn't worry about it, friend. You're quite safe where you are, and I'm quite safe where I am.
Alrighty, how you doing? Sorry about that. Okay, so where were they? What did they say? She woke up with a duality in which she has two memories of arriving.
And what are the memories?
One, she was greeted at the gates with her friends and friends of Penn, who were his tardigrades, become people when they were here, had ushered them into the city as guests. But she has another recollection of arriving at a depleted gate covered in this smog and basically being arrested by guards and placed in captivity, and Penn being arrested.
Huh. So Isabella can kind of look at both of those things and think, am I a prisoner or am I a guest?
And they both feel like those are exactly what happened to you, and you're having a little paradoxical feeling of, why am I having these two
different memories?
All right. From there, could you continue your...
Well, she met a kitty named Kitty, who was a very large, kind of almost cartoon character type cat that we know as people who have read our stories, that is one of the main personality characters of Xaltia that is in Penn's, that's in Penn's identity, one of the subsets of one of the other souls, or how you want to say it. She ended up being helpful to Isabella, and Isabella returned the favor by taking her to her kitty box, which was down somewhere in the castle. She opened the door for Kitty, she shut the door for Kitty and didn't see Kitty. Then a guard came by, and what Isabella decided to do was smoke her cigarettes, her clove cigarettes, and the minute she saw the man, she put the cigarette in his mouth and kind of like chuffed his face, and then kept walking with another cigarette. Before that man even knew what was going on, this pretty woman had done that and run off. And then he was like flipping out because in the world that you've created, the idea of a cigarette, the idea of smoke, the idea of mist is very frightening to the people in this castle. So he was terrified of the cigarette and didn't, I don't think, smoked it, but he probably walked around with it to show it to his superiors. And then Isabella came to a place where there were a lot of different options. She walked down a couple of staircases. She went up and down a gallery, like a mezzanine. Then she came to a big door that seemed to be connected.
She also met a woman that gave her something.
She met a woman that gave her something. Could you remember that to me?
Maya had come to her.
Mahayan, right. She's another one of these characters. And she's an elf lady who was very pretty but had been scarred by a lot of scars. Isabella was very afraid for her because Isabella seems to be kind of a sympathetic person to people, empathic person, kind of like Cassandra is also, and Tobit. A lot of the characters we've met have been empathic people, which at some point in another world, we realize the empathic people are being captured more than most people by the Operative Recovery Institute cult. That's on the side. It might not come up in this world, but that is something we know. Isabella, with a big heart, said, "Oh, are you okay?" Mahayan threw it off because she has a lot of trouble and she's kind of a very cynical person, and because of the hard things she's been through, at least that seems to be how she is. And what did Mahayan... Oh, she gave her 2 coins, told her to flip them if she needed like a wish or like a miraculous thing, but to beware because if it came up tails, bad things would happen. If it came up heads, good things would happen. She was originally going to flip them to get cigarettes, something very mundane, but Mahayan or Kitty, or I can't remember, gave her cigarettes and told her not to waste the opportunity. So basically, Isabella's been holding these 2 coins, but I don't believe she's used them at all.
Yes. Okay, so on Tobit and Cassandra's case, they were locked separately in cells next to each other.
Right.
They couldn't reach each other, and the guards kept them apart. While a woman named Mir, a paladin of this castle, comes and asks them if they have anything to do with the mist, because an interesting aspect of your characters is that they possess interesting physical qualities. They're somewhat transparent in a sense.
Yes.
Somewhat on a metaphysical and literal level.
Something about the place where they're from, the city of AI, which is somewhere far away from this world, we don't know how to get back, is a place where basically you have all the races of humanity, basically mostly human people. There might be dwarvish and elvish and giants and orcs and stuff. But generally, you've seen humanish people, but they've all tended to be very clear complexion to the point where you could see right through them to their organs. And while a lot of them, while that might be considered strange or weird to people from Earth, like you and me, it isn't weird to them. And in fact, they see us as very strange and kind of disturbing. The idea of somebody who they can't see through is kind of a little suspicious to them. And one more thing, too, as you had said, because of the way they look, they were originally, and may still be considered by the people of the castle to be kind of emblematic of the mists, something scary, like they look like they're from the nasty mist that came over and took over their world and brought a bunch of monsters in the mists of the mist.
That's right. And I think Mir somewhat explains that their jobs are to transcend and experience the mist and kind of repel it back. And that since their arrival, the mist had overtaken their city.
Right.
And they're also, Tobit and Cassandra are looking for their friend Isabella, who, in both aspects, seemed to have escaped her cell.
Right.
But Isabella wakes up in the morning to a kind of different scene.
Okay.
The sun is shining through the windows, and the smog seems to have lifted. There's busyness about the castle you hear outside your chambers. Your chambers themselves seem livelier looking than they did before. It seemed a bit dull and sparse, but now there's tapestries on the walls and sconces, and there's a mirror table and what is it called? Those things where you get ready. There's
a toilet or not toilet, but
the room is well prepped now, as it didn't seem before, and maybe even bigger than it felt before, though it feels like you're still in the same room you've been in since you've been here.
So I'm in the same room more or less, but I have no idea. It's very different now. It's very, very wasn't sparse and bare bones, but it's actually kind of beautiful and weirdly attractive to a person. So that being the case, okay. Well, there's a lot more things to do here. Did she wake up in that room again with any knowledge that she had been in another room similar to it? Or is she opening her eyes thinking...
You're very aware of the duality and have been confused by the paradox since you arrived. You could even say that this isn't the first time it's been pleasant, but it's the first time you're really thinking about it.
Huh. Well... I turn on a little fan by my bed because I'm hot.
You get a nice breeze.
I get a cigarette and I light it.
And there's a knock on your chambers.
Come in.
And the man opens the door and comes in, and you notice it's the guard. But the armor he was wearing seems to be replaced by some well-fitting tarp and cuirassier and tonic. And he's wearing high-fitted boots, and he looks fairly charming. His hair is done back, and he doesn't look that much of a guard at all. And he says, "Good morning, Isabella. How are you today?"
I'm doing better than I was. I seem to remember less pleasant times. Did you ever meet me before, friend?
He giggles to himself and he says, "To be honest," and After that first evening we encountered each other and I tried one of your mystics, I have had the urge for another. May I?
Of course, friend. And she proffers a clove cigarette to him.
And that thing you did. You know, with the fire?
Oh, I'm sorry. Here. What do you think of the cigarette, friend?
Cigarette?
I have two other kinds if you want different kinds.
Oh, really?
Yes, this is called the clove. It's that interesting flavor. I also have a different kind of interesting flavor called a menthol, and one that, I don't know, in my opinion, has no flavor, but many people like it, so I always carry a pack of it too, which a lot of people call regular. Would you like any of those three, or would you like to just have your clove cigarette I gave you?
Oh, this will do. Thank you, Isabella.
Absolutely. I have to beg your forgiveness. I can't remember your name. What's your name, friend?
Oh, well, my name's Sautome.
Sautome?
That's right.
That's a beautiful name.
Yeah, it's something to do with rice.
Oh. In the glyphs of the world I'm from, my name is spelled Isabella. How would you glyph your name?
Oh, Sautome.
Sautome. Well, Sautome. I have some friends who I'd love to see again. Cassandra and Tobit. Tobit I don't know as well, but I got to know him over a couple of nights and afternoons traveling with him. But Cassandra I've known for a while. She has a kind of a foreign face, almost animal-like compared to maybe the way I look. She looks a little like she's maybe put some color in her face in the sense of kind of a blue-gray fur almost, like a kitty almost, like that kitty I met earlier. She looks kind of like her face is a smaller version of that same kind of face. But then again,
I'm not understanding.
My friend Cassandra is very pretty, is what I'm trying to say. Could I see her again?
Are they... Yes, the others like you.
Yes.
With the glass skin.
Yes. What my friend Cassandra has done is found ways to make her skin have a certain kind of tone to it, like a light blue complexion. But you can still see through it because, well, after all, it's just normal to see through people.
Well, I haven't really got a chance to meet them. They've been under the bridge of the Archimandrake.
Oh, well, could you take me to the Archimandrake?
Oh, that's not actually my job. My job at the moment was to escort you into town for things you might need, for preparation.
Oh, are we going somewhere?
He smiled and he looks a bit confused. Yes, of course, you are to pick up the necessities you need for training to be a paladin.
Oh, well, that sounds just lovely. Lead the way, friend. Let's go.
By all means, you could go as freely as you wish. I'm simply here to guard your safety.
Well, thank you.
The town could be confusing.
Well, can you lead me to this town? I was under the impression people were staying in the castle, but there must be buildings around the castle, yeah?
Yes, the town is quite busy today. In fact, the Archimandrake had decided something very interesting, a holiday, a festival even. They're going to be introducing us to the creator beyond the real gem.
How lovely. Yes, please, take me there. Open the door. Let's go.
He leads you down the hall. You go down the similar hall, down to a larger you know, the place you were before, the big place with the big doors that were sealed with
Yes,
clay?
yes.
They're beautiful now. They're shining silver and bronze, and there's a ember tone to the glass. And it's shining an ember tone throughout this big hall, and it's bustling with maids and servants and people going about their day.
Oh, lovely.
He comes up to the big chapel. He calls, "Hey, paladins, Cian and Dian, please open the gate for me and Isabella." And these big paladins, they nod. They open the gate, and it opens into a big stairwell city going down into a court. And the city spreads out for miles going down. And you can kind of see the mist from beyond kind of holds like a shell over it. It doesn't cross. So you can't see beyond the city itself is lit, but beyond that is all mist.
Oh.
Would you be interested in going to Tobit and Cassandra?
Sure, that's a good place.
They've let you share the left cell, so you're both in Cassandra's cell. And they stopped locking the door and they've left it open.
Time out, just out of game, I thought they had already been taken to the Archimandrite.
Yeah.
Okay, now they're both in their cell again?
What they went and did was they spoke with the Archimandrite, yes, which they discovered was this big marble-like throne with a big broken-up marble figure sitting at it. It was all cracked, and from it spewed a brown molasses. And
I see.
Thick refuse from it. And it spoke and said that it was in pain.
Well, let me ask you. Last time I remember, as Cassandra, the Archimandrite was telling us that we were to go after someone that had caused the whole pain to her and the whole world here. And I thought it was the source. But I believe she had said, at least I think she had said, something about Melchizedek, our friend, being the person that she wants. Or maybe I remembered that wrong. Do you remember, honey? I don't remember. I think we should ask the telling of the story to tell the story. Yes, yes. Could the storyteller tell us if I got that right?
That's right. And the thing is, she believes that they're going to sacrifice their creator to end the torment of their world.
Which we thought was Pen.
Which is Pen.
What is the connection that the Archimandrite saw between Pen and Melchizedek? Or is there a connection that we saw?
A little spider web comes down and connects onto Tobit's shoulder.
Oh, huh. Oh, I would swat you off, but you seem important somehow. Thank you.
It looks up with little eyes, and it moves its little tentacles, kind of tilts its head.
Hello, hello. I am in between. I am in between. I am in between. There's a person inside me that's a story, and there's a person inside me that's another story. And in fact, as a spider, I'm a very intelligent being that can do at least 2, if not 8 kinds of worlds at once. I'm going to take the mic inside my head with my mandibles cutely talking to anyone else that is in these worlds that I will channel through. What should I say now? To Tobit and Cassandra. What I'm saying is, like, you can make him talk and I can make him talk, is what I'm trying to suggest.
You've seen what's going on with Pen.
What's I have found our friend Pen is not far from here. Well, that's very good news. Little guy.
But it's only his perception of himself.
Perception of himself.
And they took him into his world, but he's still out before they came here. He saved them, but he's still out there.
He's not in this world.
Only the perception of himself is here.
So it's almost like an image that he left behind.
That's right.
So if we were to interact with that image, oh my goodness, I've got an idea. You do? Yeah, I do. If they wish to kill that image and they all would be free, our friend Penn would still be wherever he is, completely free to make another image that he wants or not to make an image or whatever he wants to do, but he'll be somewhere else. If we could get in touch with Penn, he could get us out of here. Oh, I like that idea. What do you think, little spider?
It shoots its web up to the ceiling and it crawls into a corner.
Oh, let's follow it. Hey, little guy. And they both kind of on tippy toe and they kind of look up into the corner. And without trying to like put their hand up and scare the spider, they just kind of both look really intensely at the spider. Does the spider do anything?
That'd be up to you. So
this would be fun. This is a fun character that we've kind of created the whole thing out of nowhere. The idea of when you have more than one storyteller, a dungeon master, or whatever, game master, and then you have a character that connects not just to the two of us, but to other worlds beyond. This
so
kind of
in that, I'd like to know what's going on with Penn in reality from where we shifted off. So could you narrate that?
I think that they're both looking into the web that is being spun. As the web is spun, there's little bits of dew and dust that kind of like puff up and make little shapes in the web, which are hints. They're not exactly directly pictures of Penn, but you can kind of see bits of things that look like Penn. And he's traveling in a way through his book. He's traveling through his book, and he sees several things. One of the things he sees is a world, like a ball of energy that you can see as a tree, got a world, there's a tree in it. There's people, including people he's been friends with. Saint Martha, talking to some strangers. And then Melchizedek is kind of along with a lot of other souls hovering around that world. Although you can, Penn does not seem to be able to connect either to Saint Martha inside the wheel, inside the bubble which has the tree, or Melchizedek outside with all these friends and people from AI who are all godlike.
Penn calls out to them.
And which one does he call out to? All of them at once?
He's calling out to Melchizedek and Martha.
I'm going to roll two 20-sided. We'll say Melchizedek is gray, and Marta is blue. If you can get, let's see, we'll roll a 12-sided die. We'll roll a 10-sided. We'll roll two 12-sided die to see the difficulty. And the difficulty now is 11 plus 6, which is 17. That's a lot. But then you have each of the. If either of these get over 17, you'll be able to talk to either of them. If both of them can, you can talk to both of them. One's a 20. One's a 20 and one's a 5. You cannot talk to Marta, maybe because she's more deeper in, but you can talk to Melchizedek. Well, actually, very, very directly. And how we'll do this is a game dynamic, friend. Whatever you want to say, either now or later in the game, text me what you can tell me right now. But if you want to add to it, you can do that too. And then right now you'll do, and then the texting you do later, I'll tell them both to Elder Miguel and let him answer it in whatever episode he does. So what message do you want to say, or anything else you want to say to Melchizedek, and I'll make sure to convey it to him next time he plays.
Hell, I'm trapped in hell. Tobit, Cassandra, and Isabella are in my mind, and my charter's with them. I don't have my book. I can't get out of hell.
Okay. How do you explain what's happening to you? I mean, that's cool. We'll keep that in there as the message. But when you say, how do you perceive this right now, comrade? When you are being penned, how does Penn perceive what just happened? You said a lot at once, and I just listened. But could you explain that, to break that down for me? Where did the book go?
Oh, it's Xaltia. My books basically his charter is in Xaltia.
But he himself is not, and you say you're trapped in hell. Is that what you said?
Wasn't that where we were? We were kind of in a hell scenario.
Oh, fuck. So you are in the last place you went before. So you're in that, like, desert world above the clouds. It's like Jabalba and everything.
I'm still there.
So you're sitting there alone you no longer have your book. Is that true?
Well, I mean, I was above a hill taunting some demons, I think, the last thing I was doing before we got some real trouble, and I thought we could escape, but I'm still there, and they're all in me, and the book's in me, and I'm there.
Interesting.
I knew we'd get you. Yeah, we'll get you. We'll get you. You gotta come down here into our world. You gotta come down here, Zabalba. You'll never get free. You'll be stuck inside yourself. And all your friends will be stuck inside yourself.
Yeah, keep talking. Get me a ladder.
You don't need a ladder. You don't need a ladder. You can fly, can't you? Yeah, you can fly. You can fly. You can fly down here.
I ain't jumping down there. I sit. He crosses his legs. He crosses his arms. He's fuming. He turns red. I ain't jumping down. I ain't going down there.
All right, you bastard. We'll get you a ladder.
So they have to roll to see if they can get you a ladder. We'll roll. Let's see. Roll the 2. I'm sorry. Okay, we'll roll these 3, 4, 8, 9. 9. 4 is 3. 3 and 5 is 8. 8 and 9. 19. So they have to roll a 19 to make a ladder. They build a ladder, and it goes pretty much up to there, but what do you think of it? They have a ladder.
All right, now come up here and kiss my ass.
You bastard. We're gonna get you.
And that's what the spider showed up in the web.
Oh. He's back there in that place with the river of blood and the river of scorpions and the river of pus and all the other places. Yeah. That world from another world. A myth of someone else from our world, or Xibalba, wasn't it? Yeah. An underworld of such. Some connection to some part of the world that's connected to where these people are in some metaphysical way. What can we do? Maybe we can have... What do I remember about the Archimandrite last time I talked to them? Please.
They said they were in terrible pain. Such pain.
And we said we would try to help them.
They were broken by a large shining box, held by a man named...
And what?
Melchizedek.
Melchizedek, our friend. Well...
And now they believe they've come back, and they brought what they believe is Penn, and they want to kill him to free themselves of the ending torment of Xaltia falling to depravity, which is the abyss.
How would I, what do I do? I'm not sure what I do. Spider, what should we do? And the spider weaves some more things. And the spider, this is going to be fun. The spider's going to roll, I'm going to roll 1 12-sided, basically 3 6-sided to see what the difficulty will be. And then I'll roll, see if I can do it. And you tell me if I am able to convey anything to them.
Okay.
So the difficulty is 1, 2, 3, 6. And then one more I'll roll. 6, 10, 16. No, that can't work. We'll do 6. And he has to roll 6. And he rolls a 17. So he's 11 over what he has to do. How much can the spider tell you, me, and them about the world right now?
In a haiku.
Fair enough. I'll write you a haiku right now. Let's see. How about this? I write the first 5, you write the next 7, and I'll write the last 5. Would that be good?
Okay.
So, I'll just do it. Worlds larger than me.
Can always be placed inside.
Find the gate within. That's a good That's a good haiku, man. I don't remember anything we said, but there it is. Well, if we find a way to go inside, it's kind of like what we did on the beach with Melchizedek. You remember, Tobit? Yes, I think, but what part? What I mean to say is, we found a place within and without. We found that enlightened center, which is nothing, that zero, that's everything, that all these philosophical ways to talk about it, but it can only be experienced. And if you really are experiencing, it's like you're traveling the world through your belly button or something, or it's in between everything of you, and yet it's right there, and yet it's completely far away. But if you transcend that, if you can overcome it, if you will, you can get beyond this or any book. I know what we should do. We should find Penn's book, and we can get out of here, and we can also get Penn out of here. Because I think Penn is stuck where we see him in between all the worlds, without his book that he left here with us. We have to find Penn's book here somehow. Well, how will we do that? I don't know, but maybe the spider can weave us an idea.
And the spider does weave something.
And what?
He weaves one word, Isabella.
Let's go find Isabella. Hey, hey!
And there's your door is open, and the guard outside leans in. You go to the bathroom again?
Not so much. I'd like to find my friend Isabella. We have something very important that we can help our Commandrite and all of you good people in this world of Xaltia. If we just got in touch with Isabella, me and Tobit, and I'd like to perhaps have a little bowl, if I could have it.
You need a bowl.
Little tiny bowl.
I need to find your friend.
Yes. So if you could give me the bowl and then lead us to the friend, that would be great. Our friend Isabella.
If I give you a bowl,
yes,
and I lead you to your friend, you could help us.
If you give us a bowl right now, I can take that spider with us in the bowl, and then the 3 of us with our friend Isabella can help you. We can, can't we, Tobit? Yeah. Say it like you mean it. Yeah, of course we can help you.
And there's a shit-eating grin on the guard's face. And he's just staring at you.
She stares back and kind of flutters her eyelids a little. What did you do? Why don't you let us get us in touch with our friend Isabella, and it won't unprofit you at all. In fact, it will profit you quite well.
He nods and he says, "Step back, I'm closing the door now."
Tobit, I think this is going to be harder than I thought.
Isabella is in the town square. There's music going on from minstrels. There's chatter amongst the passerbys and townsfolk. The town is interesting. You seem to think that some of these places are carved out of crystals themselves that make up the ceilings and sills, and in some cases stairwells of the city. A strange-looking crystal, kind of colored bluish almost, but kind of gray blue, and it's everywhere.
Huh. Huh.
Admiring the scenery, Sautome says to Isabella.
It's beautiful. What is that blue, what is that blue crystal? What does it mean?
The shattering moon. Long, long ago, as they say, the world used to be controlled by two creatures. One was called Kianta, and she was a beacon of imagination. And the other was called the Arcane, which was the beacon of fear.
Interesting.
And they battled, and the castle was destroyed and torn to shreds. And what was left, the people who inhabited it picked up and created the city, never to see those deities again.
What happened to Chianta in the Arcane? What happened to Chianta in the Arcane? What happened after that creation happened? When they tore apart the area and made the city?
He taps his fingers to his chin and he looks up. I don't know. If you have questions, I guess there's always the bookseller.
Yes. Let's go buy a book.
And he leads you between a small market covered in streamers, and they're selling fish and fruits. And you come through to a small wooden-looking house. Here is the booksell, and it literally just has a sign that says the booksell.
We'd like to buy a book.
You go inside, and the walls are covered in books. It looks like the walls themselves are books. The desk is a stack of books with more books on it. Everything is a book, pretty much. The pages cover the ceiling fan. Everything is covered. And the man sitting there seems to be wearing clothes origami to fasten him from pages of books. It looks like a slightly fitting outfit. You can see words written on it. Fashions into a tie, into a blazer, into his slacks, and even a pair of paged shoes.
I'd like to hear, do you have any books about the origins of this world?
Do we have books? He giggles menacingly, and he says, "What do you ask? We have books. Can't you see we have books? We have books everywhere. Everything is a book. You are a book. I am a book. We are all books. Books. You can't go anywhere without a book."
Have you received any books lately? Perhaps even in the last 24 hours?
Every millisecond, a book. Every microsecond. Is that smaller than a millisecond? A book. He gets up on his desk to emphasize his excitement of the idea, and it caves in a bit on his pressure.
Could I do
this desk? Well,
I have an idea. I would like a book that maybe you left, or maybe you found.
I found a new book. And
yes.
It's for you.
Well, thank you.
You know why?
No, I don't.
He begins to pull books off the shelves, and he clears a big path of books, and he's just tumbling books on the ground, and he makes a passageway. This way, and he goes through the passageway.
I follow. I nod to Sautome to come with me.
On the other side of this wall, it seems as though he had torn away at a solid foundation from the other side, taking apart these books. The walls seemed to be almost like as if they were made into hardcover or a front cover of a book.
I tap on the wall, which is the book cover.
It gives a little bit, like pushing pages together into itself.
I see if I can open anything, open a little door that might turn into a book or something.
There's a seam in the wall, and you could pull it from the wall, but it's the top length of the wall, so you're opening the entire room.
Okay, I do it.
So the man, he's clapping, yes, that's it. And as you open the room, it pushes you back to the corner, and you have just enough space to turn the page, and you press that whole wall into the next wall, and now you're in a completely different room.
Huh.
And there's nothing in it except for a small little book laying on the floor.
Pick it up.
You've seen it before. Penn had this.
Oh, lovely. Wait a minute now. He wanted to give me a book, which I assume is his charter, because they're telling me about a charter I supposed to have. But the book that I opened the whole wall, which ended up making it all a kind of a book, the world a book, I walk into that part of the universe, and there's nothing but Penn's book on the gray floor of a gray place or something.
Yeah.
So it's not really my charter, is it? Or is my charter also supposed to be Penn's book?
Oh, that's a thought.
Yeah, play with that. I don't know where that came from, but I thought maybe you could do something with it.
And as you stand there, you're holding it, the floor gives away under you like the paper ripping through, and you're back into the store. And you've fallen through a hole in the ceiling. You come colliding next to Sautome and come tumbling out of the hole, dancingly. It's the man in the paper suit. Whoop, there you have it.
Do I still have Penn's book in my hand?
Yep.
Do I have my coat anymore? Because I used to have a coat.
Yeah, you got your coat and your cigarettes. Sautome is just standing up, looking kind of confused. He's got a paper cut on his face.
Oh, are you all right?
What transpired just now.
I'm not sure, but you have a paper cut on your face. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just a little confused. I think I'm going to get some air.
Okay.
He heads up.
I put the Penn's book in my pocket, and then I look to the man and I say, is there a book for me too, or was that the thing we just saw?
Oh, that was for you. That's you. That's all you. That's your book. That's the book. That's a book. It's not a book.
Oh.
And he walks off into one of the aisles.
It's like a code. It's like a code. X code. A code of X code. I don't know what I'm talking about that. I leave the man there and follow Sautome out.
And you don't see him about. You're kind of in the middle of a long market street.
Okay. Now, could you explain again what the place looks like in relation to the blue gem? Is the blue gem everywhere around us, or is it specifically...
It seems to be fastened into everything. The wood and steels itself also seems to have these crystalline gems and things faceted into the woodwork. The sills, the shingles, some of the window settings, the stairwells and stairs themselves.
How are the mists right now? Is it kind of a nice day and there's no mist, or is it mist still outside the city gates?
You can always see the mists. And the strangest thing, you look up and the sky itself is a light blue, but it has thin strands of red running through it. And as you look up, you see what seems to be a huge blue moon that has a chunk taking out of it, and another slightly smaller, grayer moon.
I kind of walk a little bit away from everything, and I look into the book, the Pen's book, and I see if I can find where Pen is in that book. If there's a drawing or right,
You see drawings. The first page, you see a drawing of a ornithopter.
I flip to the end of whatever's written there. So,
you see a bunch of pages, tons of pages that just say the word "and." You see a image of a dragon over a crystal ball. He has another picture of it's all scribbled like black all over the page of a menacing face with teeth. He draws another picture that looks like an image of Melchizedek. And he drew a few pictures of Melchizedek. He drew a few pictures of you and Isabella and Guy.
Oh, that's me.
And some of his robots.
Oh my goodness.
You see some pictures that he drew inside of don't trust them, you're all gods, you're all trapped, you're prisoners here.
Your gods trapped in, interesting. Your gods,
Yes.
or you are gods, your or you are.
Then the next page has the address he jotted down in it that he found to go to her uncle.
Cassandra's uncle. I go to the very end as much as I can of what's written. I imagine there'll be some blank pages.
As you're flipping through, it's awkward. You're trying to reach the end of the book, but you keep flipping pages. And only when you close the book, you can get over and touch the back of it. But for some reason, while you flip through it, it seems almost endless.
Is there a pen? Do I have a pen or anything?
No.
Do I have anything to write with?
No.
Is there any kind of like stores or places around you to buy something to write with?
Surely there might be.
I roll the dice. I roll a 12-sided, 20-sided. You decide if it's good enough.
Higher number is better.
I found, let's see, 16. I rolled a 16. Does that get me a place?
Yeah, you see a little boy with a feather pen. He's jotting something down on a little stone tablet on the ground. There seems to be a little upchucked piece of earth.
Hello, friend.
Hello.
What are you writing?
I'm drawing a picture.
What are you drawing?
I'm drawing the bean.
What bean?
A pinto bean.
Why a pinto bean?
It's easy to draw.
Could you draw me a quill that's like the quill that you have in your hand? Could you draw me a pen?
Huh?
With your pen. Could you draw me a pen with your pen?
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Thanks.
He rubs his hand across the image of the stone he was trying until all the dirt's removed the image. And he draws a line.
I put my hand on it.
And you pick it up.
Thanks, friend.
What was that?
Here, you want something? Thanks for your time.
That?
I'm giving you...
Is that a magic trick?
I got something for you.
Can you show my brother?
Oh, which one?
He points. He points just out. He just points.
Huh. And do I see where he's pointing? Does it
No,
go?
he's just pointing out into the crowd.
Well, here. And I draw something in the book. And I draw him. I say, is there anything you'd like, young man?
Oh, I'd really love some bread and some cheese, and
Okay.
maybe some meat, maybe like some cow or some pig. I'll eat a lamb.
I draw all those things.
I like tomatoes too. I also like butter, and I like butter and bread and tomatoes.
I'm drawing all this down into a kind of a garden-like place where there's all kinds of nice things on plates and food, and there's little animals, and they're also like next to little piles of nicely cooked meat of all those animals, and they're on plates along with tomatoes and everything. And I say, "Come with me here, friend." And I go into the book and kind of ask him to come with.
That was weird. How'd we do that?
I'm not sure, but enjoy.
And the boy runs off into the field and is picking things and eating stuff.
I then take the pen and I draw a picture of Pen, which I, for some reason, am able to do because I think I knew Pen. So I draw Pen, and I try to draw a little, kind of like an old-fashioned pointing north compass that you find in an old map, and I spin it around to try to find wherever he is, and I try to, go through both of them, the images, to find whoever Pen is.
Could you roll me a 1d20?
Sure, friend.
Over 11 it will be beneficial for you.
Okay, let me try it. I got a 9, friend.
A 9?
That's all I got.
Okay. Express what you were doing again.
What I'm trying to do is I'm spinning this made-up old-fashioned compass that you might find, like something that would point to the end of north, but not any other things. Or maybe we'd have the 4 directions, or maybe we'd have the 8 directions with the southwest and the northwest and stuff like that, and the southeast and northeast. But anyway, I'm spinning it around clockwise, trying to find where the image of Pen might end up, and I'm trying to follow whatever I see in that drawing mess that I've made in this book world that I'm in. In other words, I'm trying to find where Pen is. My goal, theoretically, would be to go to the place he is in the desert and maybe help him out or something.
And you feel almost like a breeze and a shifting of pages, and suddenly the sky is replaced with a giant pair of eyes you recognize as Sautome's.
Oh, hello.
Roll. Could you roll the 1d20 again?
Sure. Oh my God. 3.
Well, damn. You get dumped out of the book with your compass.
Oh!
You're in the your casual kitchen.
Oh. Do I still have the book?
I picked it up. It was on the ground when I came looking for you.
Thanks, I'll take it back.
Wait, he holds it up above his head.
Don't do anything crazy with that book. That's very important, friend.
What were you doing with it? You just tumbled out of there with, what is this? He points to a messed up looking device that's laying on the ground now.
That device is going to help us find Pen and help us free the world.
Okay.
Please give me the book back, friend, and I'll put it back in there, and you can come with me. We'll go in there and to help the Archimandrite and all of you out.
Roll 1d6.
1d6? Okay. Let's see. I literally got a 1, man.
Well, he got a 1, so he's probably easily convinced, so he hands you the book.
Okay.
I was going to have you roll to beat his number, but...
I do the same thing I did where I open the book and go into it, draw myself in. I kind of take him with me if he wants to come. I put my hand out. If he takes my hand, he'll go in. If he doesn't, then I'm just going in.
Wait, he goes in with you. Are we laying in the kitchen now?
Oh. I take the book in my hand as we leave the area. So I take the area... Huh?
You can't.
Oh. I come out of the book and I put the book in my pocket.
So you imprison Sautome in the book.
And I open the book and I tell Sautome, I say, Sautome, I'll be right there.
He looks up, he sees your eyeballs. Like, what the hell is happening?
This was how...
so confused. His eyes are wild like a horse in the field.
Oh, I try to find where that boy is.
He's there as well. Hello, sir. You want a tomato? And he's sharing food with Sautome.
Okay, I leave them like that, and I draw a little thing. I say something to Sautome and make sure to spell his name right. I'll be right back, friend. Enjoy that little boy and the food, and maybe ride some horses. And I bring some horses, so like very, very nice behaved but very powerful horses that come trotting around so that they can play with them.
Okay.
Then I shut the book and I put it in my pocket.
Okay.
And I see what's in the kitchens. Is there anyone around? Is there any food around?
It's actually, you caused a bit of a commotion. A few dishes got dropped when they saw you pop in and out of existence for a second in the book. And some of the waitstaff are pretty busy with their jobs of cooking and barely even notice. But some of the servant staff who are cleaning and straightening up are kind of talking with each other and looking at you like, what?
I say I'm sorry, and I leave the area. I light a cigarette as I leave.
An air of change happens in the hallway. The ambiance becomes darker, and the light has dimmed. And you notice you're kind of remembering that you were taken into town by force by one of the guards, and you were brought to a building in which you encountered the same book guy, but it seemed different and duller and less whimsical.
That's fun.
He gives you a book, and you are forced back to the chambers in which you try to write in the book a way to escape with a boy who was prisoner there who was very hungry. You rescue the boy into the book, and you trap the guard in the book as well. The guard chases the boy, and you give the boy a horse to escape on and put the book in your pocket. That paradigm is suddenly running in your head.
Seems that I have a negative and a positive version of everything. In the positive version, Sautome is a friend, and he's hanging out with the kid. And in the negative version, he's a bad guy the way the guard was that first time I was lighting a cigarette in this room. Well, I see. If I leave the book will be stuck here, like the image of Penn was stuck here, even though Penn has escaped and maybe even lost. If I go into this book, I might get lost in the book and be free of this world, but there'll be a part of us left in this world until I find another way to get this book out. I start to have an image, and I'm not sure why, almost like I've seen this book somewhere before, that there's a stone circle somewhere in this world, and I kind of want to go to it, because I think if I could get the book and me out of here, we'd be free. And that's what Isabella thinks.
And you think that'd be a good place to stop?
I think it'd be a great place to stop. We're already an hour, 3 minutes, and 52 seconds. So I will now do this. Is there anything you want to say at the end?
That was fun. I liked that we had the exchangeable role-playing through the spider, through this reg game. The game itself suggests the rules, and we're going beyond anything Dungeons and Dragons or any of those role-playing games do. God bless those games to get us started, but we're going further in the idea of, literally the spider came to be kind of a being that neither of us control, yet we can suggest, both of us, what it does in the worlds that you and I both provide it to be in, as well as other worlds it could go into later. So like other characters might have the same reality to it. I might suggest that to you, and as you think about it, if we get Elder Miguel or Elder Jeffrey or Vice Master Sabrina or any of these people who have played with us before, if they play with us, we can have them have the same kind of control over the spider where it's suggested, but not commanded what it says. A lot of things, friend. You say what you say. I think I really enjoyed how you played Cassandra.
Thank you.
And I loved I love how you did Cassandra and Tobit's little.
A couple of ways.
Because they were kind of just. It was an interesting episode because it was like they were discovering. Kind of these characters kind of separated from each other in this weird divide, and they're experiencing very different moments.
Yes.
And I guess this time their characters were kind of like they're trapped in this cell, but yet they're discovering this knowledge through the spider, which is this breach between the worlds, the story world. And Isabella herself being like a conduit, being an empathetic person, able to empathize with him enough to take his charter and deal with this duality and understand it. So I think it's a really good characters for this scenario in general.
I like this, and I think eventually, like one of the things I was thinking of thematically when I was being the storyteller in a couple episodes before, the potential that all could become one, the idea that all the gods could become one, the idea that all the people can become one, that could be explored with different characters being in different people's books. So in a way, Isabella might be able to become Pen, or Cassandra or Tobit might become the Archimandrite. We might all become Melchizedek or vice versa. Like that kind of thing has already been played with in the earlier episodes as a hint, but this kind of device that we've come up with, this kind of machinery of kind of storytelling both ways and having characters that go back and forth, that could be useful eventually to bring that theme in, but it won't be the only theme. We'll do all kinds of other things, obviously, as you decide and other people.
It's as if the magic of this world is our storytelling itself.
Yes, that's it.
That is the interesting, that the psychedelic, surreal part of the story is our ability to imagine surreality. And
psychedelic. It's like we are creating to the parts of
characters. You're right. So we are the deities creating characters who we inhabit to. So
it's great. It's so great. It's so great, man. Why don't we leave it at that, comrade, and we'll talk more? Because I'd love that to be the last thing on this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, we didn't end with the music and everything. I thought.
Oh no, I'm going to pause it and put the music on, and then you can talk about it after. Do you want to leave it there?
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Friend Gale, and thank you for doing this and participating and being part of this and creating it. Live action scripture is getting bigger and bigger, including more and more books, and so hopefully we'll have more published soon.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
thank you, sir.
Thank you, comrade. Thanks so much. We'll leave it for the people that have the theme song, and we'll be back soon.